Okay, are we live? We are live. So,
Awesome.
First of all, if anyone's there, please let us know. That's very important to know that you can see two people on the screen, not only one. So me and Carolyn should be two people on the screen. And if you can hear us, if there's anything wrong, please let us know straight away. And just for everyone who is here for the first time, my name is Joanna, and I run the Blonde Travels blog, and I am here with Carolyn today. Hi, Carolyn.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
Hi, Carolyn is a very interesting person, and I hope that she will tell us all about her exciting life. She has a very nice blog, Breathing Travel, and she's a digital nomad and a traveler, and she is now in Australia. So in Australia, what time is it, Carolyn, today?
6:01, so it's early.
AM. So she's really sacrificing her time here and her energy to join us. So I'm very, very grateful, really grateful that you could join us here at 6 a.m.
That's fine, really. I normally get up really early, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel much better because I don't feel guilty so that I invited you here for so early. So usually before we start all the serious question, I usually ask people what they did, but because your day is only starting now, so I assume you haven't done much. So what are you going to do today? What are your plans?
Yeah. Oh, good question. My week this week is a bit busy because I'm going on a trip on Thursday. So I'm trying to prep everything and, catch up on all my work before I go. And so, yeah, I'll be running around like a chicken today, doing all these sorts of things. And, it'll be very, very work focused. So
nice. So where are you going?
New Caledonia.
And is that north, south? Where is it?
It's to the east of Australia from Brisbane. It's like roughly 2 hours by plane. It's sort of like, where Fiji is? So Pacific Islands. It's,
yeah.
So it's the east.
So are you going for vacation or any serious business?
Yeah, I'm doing a project over there. So it's work.
Nice. So tell me, because I read your bio on your site, and I couldn't decide where to start because you really have done a lot of stuff. So maybe first tell us how did you start with your remote work and your travels?
Yeah, very good question. It's been 4 years plus now. So in 2014, I was I'm German by origin. Not everyone maybe got that. So, so I lived over there, went to university as you do, finished, I worked in marketing for a bit. And then I lived in a big city, Frankfurt, kind of wanted to travel a bit more, and I had this urge to go, and because I traveled throughout my studies and before my studies even, I did that a lot, and I was missing something. So I went to Thailand. I bought a one-way ticket. I gave up my apartment. Lots of people have done that. Sold my car, just wanted to go. And I know you've been to Chiang Mai.
Yeah, and how long ago was that?
2014, October.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just went, I did a web design course in Bangkok, and was really interested
So it was in Thailand?
Yeah. It was great. Did a course there, started building websites. I actually had my website before that already, like in that year, 2014, I had already built it, but, it looked like, I don't know, it's developed so much over the years. So
not very representative.
No, it's totally different today. But it's very funny to look back. And so after that, I went to Chiang Mai, and didn't really know that many people. I actually went to I don't know if you know that, but there's a digital nomad conference, and that was in Berlin at the time. I think it was the very first of its kind. And that was like September, I believe, in that year. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go there because I wanted to, you know, meet people who are very similar, like-minded people. And then turns out there was a couple of people I met there that also wanted to go to Chiang Mai, and we caught up in Chiang Mai. So I had kind of a few points, a few people I started to know. And then everything happened really fast, you know, once you get there and people are open and friendly and you catch up and you do similar things, you work on your laptops. And then, I had my first client doing digital marketing and building a website, you know, which I hadn't really done before for clients. And I just started doing that. And it was really just went really fast and progressed from there.
So what gave you the idea of, you know, how did you hear about working remotely and that you can do it from anywhere really?
Yeah, I think I do believe that year in Germany was very much about, you know, it was in media, you know, digital nomads. My mom would give me articles. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. Or,
your mom would give you articles?
Yeah, she was, I don't know.
That's a nice mom, supportive.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Then... that conference, and I think I pretty much had it set in my head already. Like I just wanted to travel, and I read a lot about it, found a lot of articles, especially on Chiang Mai. I think it was pretty big back then. Lots of people going to Chiang Mai, still now, I think, but and then I just went for it.
Yeah, and so you basically, at the moment, you're building sites for clients, or you're doing, because I think I read something about social media, all kinds of stuff like that. So what is exactly that you do?
Yeah. So that's how I started building websites, and, you know, progressed into other areas, worked in marketing before. I was very heavily involved in social media. So I'm like, I really like social media. So I started, you know, social media managing, did some SEO, email marketing. So I worked across, you know, the scope a little bit, but now I'm very much focused on Facebook advertising, Facebook, Instagram advertising. So I run campaigns for clients, mostly like online shops. And that's my focus today. So I don't really build websites anymore, but yeah.
So were there, do you think, like the beginnings that it seems from what you say that the beginning was easy, you know, and you're just like, oh yeah, I just started doing it and the client came and it was just so easy. Was it really easy, or did you struggle?
Oh, about that. No, totally. It sounds much, much easier now than it was back then, right? And looking back, of course, I think I chose the right destination to ease myself in. I think that was a big plus, you know, because especially Chiang Mai being so affordable and, you know, being so connected with people, that kind of helped me a lot in the beginning. But of course, it wasn't that easy, you know. I didn't have skills from like years and years, you know, of experience working in that field. I did have to learn a lot, even though I was very interested in marketing, and I kind of, you know, that was my background. I studied business and focused on that area. But I remember, you know, in Chiang Mai, I probably had so many sleepless nights, you know, like freaking out. What am I doing? Stuff I needed to get done. Like it wasn't all super easy. And I remember I did work a lot in the beginning as well, you know, sitting in the co-working space, just at 6 a.m. Until whatever, 10 p.m., you know, it's...
Yeah, hard work.
It is hard work. No, it definitely is. And looking back, it might look easy, and I think I got lucky with my first client, but it definitely, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that. How did you get the first client?
Yeah, it was funny. I think it was just luck. I checked into my apartment one day, and he was sitting in the lobby, and we just got talking. And I gave him my business card, and I'm like, "Yep, that's what I do." And kind of, I'm not a huge salesperson, especially back then. I definitely wasn't selling myself and stuff, but. He's like, okay, cool. And I thought I would never hear from him again, right? And then a week later, I'm in my PJs in the morning, I don't know, 8 a.m. He calls me, hey, can you meet me at Starbucks in half an hour? And I'm like, all right, yeah, I can do that. Of course I can. That's how I started, and then got ready, met him, and then that's how it kicked off.
Excellent. That's a really cool story. Really. So from there, it just it was easier for you to approach people, or did people come to you?
Yeah. Definitely approach people in the first place. Nobody knew what I was doing. I think my blog definitely helped a little bit, and I think it's always been, I guess, kind of separate from my social media business, but. Starting to get sponsorships on there, work on a bit of a different angle there. Definitely also getting clients, and so clients see my work, how the website looks. It was very important in the first place. So, after I did the web design course, I revamped my website, and built upon that, just so I had something to show. I think that was pretty much my first own project, because I had no references whatsoever, right? I had to build something.
Yeah, of course. It's very important. And also I think it's interesting that you mentioned your travel blog, because I am a little bit the same. I teach English online, but quite a lot of people come from my travel blog too. So it's something that you treat as a hobby, but also that it can help you out as well. You have a nice comment, a compliment from Karen Turner in English. Turner, I don't know if I pronounced that right. Sorry about that. So she says, "Love your work. Go girl."
Thanks, Karen. She's a good friend down here on the Gold Coast.
Okay, I see. So if anyone has a question for Carolyn, then please comment, please post it. I think it will be very interesting to know what you want to know too. So back to my questions. What sorts of skills do you think a person needs when they want to have, let's say, something similar to yours, your business, want to do social media or web designing, and they want to work online, not for someone else, for themselves?
Yeah. I think you can learn anything. It probably doesn't take skills. It's more a mindset thing. And going to university, obviously I learned a lot, but what I learned at university, I probably had to really relearn or upskill everything else afterwards to actually do my job great. So I think I think it comes down to mindset and persistence. You just got to know, you got to get up, you got to do it. If that's what you want, you got to put in the work. And then I'm 100% sure anyone can learn anything. And yeah, of course, if you're open to social media naturally, for example, and you love photos, posting, creating, that definitely helps. But otherwise, there's so many people out there helping, teaching. I think.
Yeah, and I guess there's quite a lot of information online, and you can sometimes teach yourself for free.
Totally.
100%.
YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. YouTube and all other platforms. Justina is asking, would you do it with kids? I guess that refers to travel and working.
Yeah, good question. I guess I see many people, many families do it. So my initial thought is, why not? But, I think for everyone, it's different. I guess I love my home base right here, right now. And I definitely take things slower than I did in 2014. So even with kids, I think it'll be, you know, everything would be going much slower or more on a micro level than, you know, crazy trips internationally, because even over the years, it gets really, you know, it gets exhausting doing all that. But I think, you know, definitely if I have kids one day, I want to take them around the world, you know, maybe for longer stretches as well. Who knows? So why not?
Yeah, I think it's but it's not a disadvantage, I guess, to slow down, right? It's a nice thing to be somewhere for a longer time and then move on somewhere else, and take things easy. And so you settled down after traveling to many countries.
Settled down.
But you are in one country at the moment, right? Why did you decide to do it?
Yeah. I love Australia. I just love having a base. And I think I especially felt it over the past year. I did a lot of house sitting over the past, 12 months, 20 months. So, you know, moving around so many times, even, you know, throughout Australia, like, I just knew I really liked it here, and I didn't know how to kind of make it work that I can stay in one place. And so, yeah, for me, it was just really exhausting, and I couldn't really grow with my business. It kind of like slowed me down. You know, I think there's like different little pieces that came together. And I wasn't so excited. I guess it sounds, you know, sad now. I wasn't so excited to go on a trip. I rather just wanted to stay in a place. And I think it's also because people play a big part, you know, relationships play a big part, friendships play a big part in your life. So I just wanted to take that a bit slower and, you know, develop these networks and friendships and relationships, which were really like transient before. And I mean, I have great friends all over the place, but they are all over the place. So I do like personal connection and catching up with my good friends. So that's what I was really, I think, missing. And it's not so much about, you know, obviously I love Australia, but I could be anywhere in the world. I just wanted to have a nice place. You know, I live by the ocean. It's amazing. I love it. Have great people around me, and I just want to build upon that. And I just saw, once I did that, and once I realized that, everything else in my business I see falling in place. So I think I can really, like, that really sparked a new growth, and I think that will continue.
Yeah, that's it's a very interesting thing, because I follow people who have become digital nomads a long time ago. One of the first one, let's say, and they've been working online, you know, in many places, and a lot of them are just now stopping and trying to settle down, right? We put it in quotes, because it's not really, because there's always that part of you that will want to go and travel, but they all want that somewhere where they can unpack their bags, right? And it's interesting that you say that too. So, but you don't really think that it will be like forever, and you always have. Do you also have like this, that, oh, maybe in 2 years I'm gonna move somewhere else, and I'm gonna go to Bali maybe this time?
Who doesn't? But I mean, yeah, totally do. And what's forever anyways? You know, forever is a long time, and I think in our generation there is no forever. You know, you're not forever in your one job. You're not forever stuck in one place. Like, we just have so much more freedom and mobility and opportunity as well. So I think forever is, very broadly defined.
Yeah, true. Just so you know, guys, Carolyn is not Australian. She sounds very Australian. We discussed this before. She sounds very Australian, but she's from Germany. You because you lived in Australia before, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I came as a high school exchange student, 2006, a long time ago. And back then, pretty much everyone in my family declared me as, I don't know the right word here, but yeah, as nuts probably. So they're like, yep, okay, you're going on a high school exchange. You know, I didn't know anyone. Australia wasn't a trend destination back then, you know, like it picked up afterwards. And, you know, so many backpackers from like Europe, especially Germany, coming to Australia. And yeah, so I'm like, no, I'm doing it, or I really wanted to do it. And my dad especially supported me a lot. And then I guess after my mom also supported me, and yeah, my family is great. So they helped me get over here. I did a year in high school on the Sunshine Coast. It was absolutely amazing. Probably the best thing I've done, you know, in my life. Like, what a decision. I don't even know where that came from, to be honest. But and yeah, lived with a host family, went to high school, and then just loved it so much, and been back for, you know, working holiday for so many occasions now. And yeah, just love it.
I bet it seems like Australia was meant to be, you know, from the almost from the start. Justina says, thank you for the answer about the question about the kids, and maybe see you in Australia with my 2 girls.
Cool. Nice. Yeah.
Okay. So because you traveled so much when you worked online, was it very difficult for you to combine this with your work, with like deadlines and, you know, client? Even now, I know that when I asked you for the interview, you said that you do your calls with the clients like really early in the morning or something crazy. Do you struggle with that, or did that become a part, like something that you just take for granted?
Yeah, I mean, definitely a part of it now, but I guess working over time zones, and, you know, most of my clients, well, I did work on the ground in Southeast Asia with some people, but then also European clients, which normally when you're in Southeast Asia, Australia is, I do my calls later in like late afternoon, early evening, and then it's like really early in the morning, like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. for them. So they, you know, can chat to me in the morning, which normally works quite fine. But then also I think now being in Australia and having the opportunity to work with clients here, I definitely do a bit more of that, just because, you know, it is nicer to have that sort of like same. There's still time zones in Australia, if anyone didn't know that. So
yeah, true.
Big country. We get confused all the time. Sydney's on a different time zone now than Brisbane. It confuses me all the time, and I have clients ring me up an hour early.
Is that far? It is far, right? Because
Sydney is like a 1 hour flight.
Yeah.
So yeah. But yeah, I guess definitely, you know, when you travel around, you got to organize yourself. And then that's, I think, you know, part of the mindset, part of, you know, yes, anyone can do it. But then also you got to know that you have deadlines and got to meet them, because if you don't, the client is going to be gone next week or next month or whenever, you know. So I guess you got to be on top of that.
Yeah, you have to. In a way, it's like traveling is the fun part, but also there's the serious part that you need to maintain all the contacts and deadlines and everything, right? So there's the serious component there. Where was the most perfect place for you to work, except Australia, of course? We're not talking about that, but any other places that you travel to? What was the most perfect one to travel?
I love Bali. It's such a great place, and I've been a number of times now as well. And you might have heard about Canggu as well, or I'm not sure if you've if you've been. I love it. Such a great place. Such good vibes and little cafes, and so I do love that. Chiang Mai was amazing, you know, such a good place to work from as well, with all the spaces and the community and stuff. And then you're in Lisbon right now.
Yeah.
I love Portugal. Like, I wish I could have spent more time there. I was there at the start of last year, and I did a bit of a road trip, you know, but I just loved it. Loved it. It's so good.
It's great. It's great. I mean, my beginnings here were quite difficult, I must say, but I got used to it, and I really, really love it here. It's a very, very nice country and beautiful. If you get out of the city and go to the beach, and it's amazing. But you did you work here, or did you just come to travel?
Yeah, I did a camper van. Like, I had a camper van, and I had my little mobile device with me, so I pretty much worked from the camper van. Yeah, it was great.
And you came here in the winter, you said, at the beginning of the year?
Yeah, that was like March. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So March is still not that bad, but it was, I guess, it was pretty cold still then.
It was fresh. Yes.
It was fresh. Yeah. I guess maybe you can call it that. So you also lived in Peru and Singapore. I am very interested in hearing about Peru, especially.
Yeah, so that was a 6 months study abroad I did in Lima. Went to university over there. And yeah, it was a completely different world. My first time to South America. And I arrived, actually, I might start this story differently because
okay, go on.
I did 6 months in Singapore before that. So my first half of the year was in Singapore. And then from there, I flew to Australia, to Chile, to Lima. So big trip around the world.
Oh, nice.
And in Singapore, my last couple of days, I met a Peruvian girl. And I don't know, meetup or something, you know, through like some networking event. And she's like, oh, you're going to Peru? No way. You got to meet my family. They're going to pick you up from the airport. I'm like, all right.
Wow, amazing.
I don't know anyone there. It was just so crazy. Sometimes what happens when you just go out there, meet people, and then she basically hooked me up to her family picked me up, her brother picked me up at the airport. You know, Lima is not that safe. You shouldn't get in a taxi from the airport. They just picked me up, came in their car, you know, took me to their house. I could stay with them for like a week or two until I figured out what, you know, where I was going to live, until I found my, you know, share house. And they took me out to dinner. Like, it was just amazing. It was just like really eased me into my Peruvian life, and, you know, knowing locals from the get-go. It's crazy. And that really blew my mind. And yeah, I found my share house there, you know, went to university, did a lot of travel, like all around Peru. It's absolutely beautiful. I don't think my Spanish is still should be better, but
so your studies were in English then?
Yeah, most of it you could choose, or it was more like some courses in English, some courses in Spanish, and you could choose them. It was like a bilingual thing.
Okay, that sounds amazing. So which countries did you visit in South America?
I did heaps of Peru. I think I've done almost all of Peru. So every time, you know, we had a couple of days off, or we would go away, do like the north of Peru. We got to the Amazon, go to the south, Machu Picchu, of course, you know, Cusco. And then I also did Easter Island.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know how that came about, but I think there was a deal on it. And I was like, yep, okay, we're going to Easter Island.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was definitely different. And yeah, unfortunately, I haven't done any other countries because I was so focused on Peru and wanted to just explore Peru all throughout. And then I've just been back to Chile last year, but I'm still, you know, there's still so much out there. I'm dying to go to Brazil and Colombia. And so lots of places still to go.
Yeah, true. And also I have a question about safety, because you are a blonde girl, right? And you went to countries where probably a blonde girl is kind of an attraction. So did you find yourself in some difficult situations of danger, or when you felt quite uncomfortable?
I think it comes with common sense, which, there's not like one situation, sometimes, of course, walking the streets of Lima at night, would put my hoodie on and not show my hair and stuff like that. Because people look, and Peruvians are quite small, you're kind of like tall, and I'm not that tall, so you stick out. And you can't, if you can't speak Spanish fluently and stuff like that. So I haven't had a like uncomfortable situation. I just, people come up to you, they try and speak to you, but nothing, no pickpockets. I think a lot of common sense is just involved when you go out, and then listening to the locals, what do they have to say about the destination? Like, where should you go? Where shouldn't you go? And then I guess if you're...
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I guess if you're, just cautious of that. But it's like anywhere else in the world, right? When you go to a big city, even in Germany, cities there's some dodgy parts. There's some...
That's right, yeah.
So I think just... common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the same thoughts on when I went to London this year, and that was my first time after 5 years. And you think you go to places like, I don't know, Burma or somewhere, and you might be scared, but you go to London and it's such a huge city, and it's so many things can happen there. Yeah, it's. I think like going somewhere and abroad and being afraid is just anything can happen in your city as well. So it's the same, really. How about because you most of your travels you did by yourself, right? Oh, and she's gone. Let's see. Am I there still? Because you lived in... Hello? Okay, so I am alone. I need to wait for Carolyn. Unfortunately, I think she got disconnected. Let me have a look in here. I will... sorry, guys. Unfortunately, this happens, and it okay. She still can hear me. Because unfortunately, BeLive sometimes plays up. But I think Carolyn is back. Let's see. Hello. Ah, yes, she's back. I can see.
Are we back? Okay.
Sorry about that. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes it happens. I think I need to use a different program for it. Anyway, yes, because I wanted to ask you about your solo travels, because you traveled by yourself most of the time.
Yeah, heaps of it I did by myself. Friends, family. My sister was with me for a bit. So yeah, it's always, I guess.
What do you think about solo travel versus traveling with someone else, with a group or with a friend?
If I would suggest everyone do it once in their life, because it is so different to when you have someone else, with you. And you're going to meet people in the end anyways, and, they become your new friends, or, they travel with you for a while. So I think traveling by yourself, I don't want to say, it's the ultimate feeling of freedom. And I think everyone should do it once in a while. You know, I don't think I get lonely, or when people say, oh, really, you're traveling by yourself, like, oh, doesn't it get lonely or something? But then you're not really alone, you know, and sometimes it might be good to be alone for a bit, to just reflect and sit with your own thoughts, because we're already bombarded with everything else in life, right? And technology and social media and phones and whatever, like, and you can always reach out, you know, call your family or your friends, or message them and tell them how awesome it is. Or, yeah, just think traveling by yourself is, yeah, it's so rewarding, freeing, and you really like get to know how you're actually doing in like a foreign environment. So I think it's been super valuable to me, and I think it boosts your confidence as well. You know, if you can say, oh, you've been to this country by yourself and you actually managed to do it and you came home in one piece, amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Do you still do it sometimes, or do you mostly travel with your partner?
Yeah, mostly with my partner, sometimes still friends. You know, it's great to have great people with me, but I would definitely go on a trip by myself as well. Yeah.
You wouldn't think twice about it?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about house sitting, because this is what you've been famous for. So Carolyn uses house sitting for when she travels, and she saves quite a lot of money. So I would like you to tell us what it is, how it works, and how you can save money.
Okay. House sitting. Looking out after someone's house, mostly there's pets, you know, dogs, cats. I had hamsters, rabbits, yeah, whatever it is. In the States, not in Australia, they're not allowed here. But yeah, and then basically I've done a lot over like different platforms. I use Trusted House Sitters a lot. You sign up. It's a bit like, I call it like Airbnb for house sitting. You know, you're like putting a profile together, getting some reviews, uploading some cool, you know, pet photos, photos of you and stuff. And then basically you can search for house sits in, if you want to go to a particular country or a city, you can search for that. And then you apply for the house sit. You can see, you know, what sort of dates they require. Sometimes, you know, they have, I don't know what's involved, you know, they ride, needs to be fed 3 times or walked like once or stuff like that. So you kind of know what's involved, and then you apply, get in touch with them. In the first place, I've done a lot of like Skype meetings, I guess. And then when I was on the Gold Coast, I also did some like local meetings just to see, you know, meet them, meet their pets. And then, yeah, you just go for it.
So you basically, you do meet them before you...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would always like, especially, you know, traveling solo. I was actually in the States solo at the start of this year, and I did a house sit over there, and I met them over Skype before. You know, I couldn't go there to meet them, but met over Skype. It was great. They said yes. He picked me up from the train station. You know, he organized like take that train from the airport. I pick you up there, and yeah. So I've had like amazing experiences house sitting. Met so many cool people. You know, everyone that I met has been so genuine and so nice. You know. Yeah, come a day early. You can stay with us. They make me dinner. You know, they invite me in their homes.
So it is a little bit like couch surfing, but they're not there most of the time.
Exactly. Yeah, and most of the time it's like awesome places. Like I've stayed in some beautiful homes. And in Australia, even in the States, I drove their car. They're like, yeah, you can have our car, drive around. So, you know, no rental car needed. I'm like, that's cool. So, yeah, some little perks you get for that. Yeah. And then...
So how can you start with it? Because I guess you know, it takes maybe does it take a long time to sign up and to go through some kind of like a process?
No, actually, I think it's fairly easy, fairly straightforward. If you go, let's say you take trusted house sitters, you just go on, you can sign up, fill out your profile. It takes maybe like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to upload everything, write a little bit about yourself. It works in a membership. So you normally buy a year's worth of membership, which I think is like $100. Mm-hmm. But in the end, like, think about it, you get to, go on, stay with people in houses for free.
And I lost Carolyn again. I think the internet is playing up today, but I will wait for her to come back. So Carolyn, if you can hear me, just refresh the site. And because I am really interested in hearing more about house sitting, because that's actually something that I would like to do in the future as well. I think it's really a good idea. Okay, so we'll wait for Carolyn. I hope she can. Maybe she will come back soon. Sorry, guys, about that. It is, like I said, a problem sometimes. So I have to talk for a while. So if you have any questions for Carolyn before we finish, because we are about to wrap up, let us know in the comments. If she doesn't have time to reply, then we will go back to the comments and I'll ask her to do it. So apparently I am froze, so I will refresh my website. Okay. All right, am I back? Can you let me know if you can see me and hear me? And I cannot see and hear Carolyn, unfortunately. So, Marta is here. Hello, Marta. Hi. So I am waiting for Carolyn to join me because she got disconnected. Both? Really? I cannot see her. This is the same as before. I had the same problem before. Okay, she's back. Maybe.
Are we back?
Yes, we are back. Sorry. I don't know what's going on, but I really am desperate to get some information out of you about house sitting. So tell me, how do you start? So how do you get the first, like the first house, where you can stay?
Yeah. So I guess it starts with, filling out your profile really nicely so everyone looks at it. And the second thing is reviews or references, which you can also get like externally for a trusted house sitter. Someone could just, write something. For example, like someone you've house sitted before, or like someone you lived with like a character reference or something like that. So people can't see that they're on the platform, but they can still write something which might help in the beginning. But then obviously once you've done a house sit, it makes sense to kind of like get a reference from someone who's on the platform as well, just so they're verified and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think, and then it's based on trust, right? So you would catch up with them and, see what they're all about. You want to be you want to know that they're legit, and obviously you want to do a good job so you can get a great first reference. And I think I got maybe also a bit lucky. You know, I went to Darwin in the first place, which is like in the very north of Australia. Really hot. I went in October, and it was like,
which one it is. Yes, my friend lives there.
you know, so it was storm season, and I guess nobody really at that time, you know, it wasn't the greatest location to go to. It turned out to be amazing. You know, I loved it. But you know, maybe look for a destination not like San Francisco downtown, maybe look like just outside of San Francisco. If you want to aim for something, maybe aim for something that isn't as competitive, because I know like Sydney house-sits, they go so fast. And you got to have a great profile for that. But once you queue that up, you'll be fine. And most of the time you'll have probably an even cooler experience if you stay a little bit outside, and you know, you even get like little perks like driving a car around, or so
and how do you plan your travels when it comes to that? Because do you for example, do you first buy a flight ticket, or do you first look for a house, or how do you organize that?
Good question. I normally have a destination in mind a little bit ahead of time, and if I want to go, I'm just gonna buy my ticket. But I also get like a daily digest of the house sitting platform, so you can like put in the locations you're looking at, and then you just get that in your inbox, and then you see, you know, the different house sits, and then you can immediately apply, so you're kind of not missing out on anything when you know, so it's always in your inbox, you can see it, and then, you know, competition as well, you can kind of beat them because you're faster, you've seen it.
Okay, interesting. I was actually thinking about joining it about a few months ago, but I wasn't sure if, you know, how do you, like, I was a little confused how you plan it, you know, do you first is it, for example, you buy a cheap ticket somewhere and decide to go there, and then you look for something, you know, how much the house sitting option plays a role in your whole planning?
Yeah, here's a good example. I have a reader. She reached out to me. She's reached out a long time ago, and she's like, I really want to get into this house sitting, like, how do I do it? And I said, have a look on Trusted House Sitters and sign up. And I think she signed up soon after, and then she just looked around, and she knew she works a standard job in Germany, and she knew her holidays was going to be from there to there, right? There's no flexibility, which I normally favor. You know, if you have a bit of flexibility in dates and stuff, that's great. And she knew she wanted to go there, and she just like started looking for those dates. And next thing you know, she's like, I'm flying to Melbourne tomorrow. She like messaged me, I'm doing a stopover in Dubai, and I'm flying to Melbourne, doing this house sit down there. And, you know, she asked me all these questions, and I'm like, oh, that's amazing. You know, and she found something that just aligned so perfectly with her dates. And then she just like put a little, you know, a few other destinations around she wanted to see. So I think she still like stayed flexible within that, but I think you can find a lot, especially in Australia. There's so many houses. In the US, there's a lot. You know, Southeast Asia, there's not so much. But then I think if you can't find anything, it'll be really affordable to just stay in a guest house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So. Do you have quite a lot of information on your blog about house sitting, right? So if anyone wants to find out more, what is your address, your blog address?
It's breathingtravel.com. Breathing as you do.
Yeah, breathingtravel.com. Or they can find you on Instagram, right? It's also the Breathing Travel, right?
Yeah, also Breathing Travel. And then on my website, when you go to resources, there's also a section where it says how to become a house sitter. So you can read about that there.
Brilliant. So tell me, before we finish, what are you really, really passionate about in your life?
Really, really passionate about in my life? A very good question. I think just A very good question. I just love how, I guess when you start out traveling, you don't know what's going to happen, right? And back then, thinking I was so stuck in my life in Frankfurt, and not seeing the outside. I think now I can actually see that for myself, and I love that, and I can see it for other people as well. And I think through my blog, I really want to convey how you can live a different life. If you want to, you can make it happen. And I want to, that's what I think I'm passionate about, to show up people that they don't have to live, a 9-to-5 or whatever it is. For some people, it's amazing, it's ideal. But if that's not what you want to do, I don't think that's what you have to do. So that's, I think, what I'm very passionate about, and showing people that that's possible.
That's beautiful. That's really lovely, I think. Carolyn, thank you very much for coming here, and talking to me, and, giving all the advice and everything. It was really, really nice. And I really appreciate that you did it so early in the morning.
That's okay, really. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. So if you want to know more about Carolyn, about her travels, about her lifestyle, go to brewingtravel.com, Instagram, and also her blog and Facebook page. Thank you very much, Carolyn.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.